Hello, my name is Robert Noble. I volunteer in the museum and very much look forward to coming every Tuesday. And today I'd like to talk about Cockneys in Arcadia. Was this venture a brave enterprise or a naive experiment? Here is Arthur Cameron and his family outside their cottage in Chipping Campden. In 1902, Arthur Cameron, with 150 men, women, children and apprentices, arrived in Chipping Campden, and Janet Ashby coined the title to describe the transformation in their lives. For Charles Ashby, the founder of the Guild of Handicraft in the East End in 1888, this move to the North Cotswolds was intended to inspire and enlighten his guildsmen and their families. The influx of 10% more folk into this small agricultural town was quite a shock to the natives. EastEnders meets the archers, if you like. Ashby organised sports, drama and music for the whole community and assimilated two very different groups of people very successfully. For a number of years, the Guild, working in the silk mill, was pretty successful, producing high-end one-off pieces and commissions in various media, such as metal and jewellery and wood, and the showroom in Bond Street remained a useful shop window. So what caused the Guild of Handicraft to be wound up in 1908? A recession in 1906 highlighted the difficulties of an enterprise that was possibly too ambitious and not properly managed. While ultimately Charles Ashby was the boss, the Guild of Handicraft worked on a cooperative and quasi-socialist basis, which generated very high overhead and labour costs. A guildsman might, for example, earn 3 times the wage of a shepherd. Equally, the craftsman could not be laid off in lean times. The idealism and altruism of the Guild ran contrary to the demands of an increasingly competitive business environment, and Charles Ashby perhaps expected far too much from his guildsmen. While Ashby blamed the rush of cheaper mass-produced objects onto the market, Alec Miller, the sculptor, did question the calibre of some of the guildsmen and the quality of their work. Ashby was not a businessman who could have coped with the downturn in demand in a recession, well away from their established customer base in London and the South East. He was also unwilling to compromise and perhaps produce limited editions of some products that might have helped avoid closure. The financial backing of the early years perhaps obscured and disguised major weaknesses, which came to a head in 1908 with the winding up of the Guild as a limited company. Arthur Cameron, an accomplished craftsman in metal and enamel, who joined the Guild as a raw youth of 13, was reduced to producing cheap mass-produced trinkets for soldiers' sweethearts in the First World War, his family in the workhouse. Jim Pymont, the father figure amongst the guildsmen, bought the silk mill in 1917 for £600. Most guildsmen had by then returned to London following the winding up of the Guild, but significant figures had remained in Camden, people like Fred Griggs, Alec Miller, and others who established a tradition for arts and crafts that spread far and wide and is thriving today. Chipping Campden, as a town, owes its remarkable high street to the work of Fred Griggs and the Camden Society that he began in 1929. Griggs was bowled over by the beauty and character of the town and its surroundings and was determined to preserve its unique status. It was Griggs who almost bankrupted himself in the 1930s, saving Dover's Hill from the developers. Yes, even then. Our shop reflects the traditions and values of the arts and crafts movement that is alive and well over a century after Charles Ashby and the Guild first moved to Chipping Campden. So, what do you think? A brave enterprise or a naive experiment?